On today's episode of Single Seater Reactions, we're gonna laugh at a failure. That's hot! Jesus! Right here in the small box. Yo, welcome back to Single Seater Reactions, yo. This is only on the Flexing Mind Network. I'm the original anomaly. Welcome back to the channel. So, I've been supposed to be watching these videos. I ain't gonna lie to you because I don't even know who this is, but by the way I see people talk about him online and how it's a big majority on the left and not the right, I'm just like, you know what? I might as well chime in. Let's see what's going on. Is he racist? I don't know. We'll find out, though. We got another deleted video, y'all. This one is titled, What's the Dirt? Just ended his career in one video. Let's get into it, bro. But before we do, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the reaction. Let me know what you think about this whole situation here. Inform me, because apparently I'm 3 months out, okay? So that being said, let's just get straight into the video, all right? Let's go. Talk to me. Oh, boy. We got one of them ones with the Happy Dad, everything, bro. When you see Happy Dad, you know what's going on. I'm just saying. Let's go.
That not everyone needs to speak on hip-hop culture. But since people are able to put in their 2 cents, regardless of how I feel or how you feel, it's best to take their interpretation with a grain of salt. What's the Dirt is a YouTuber that substantially grew in popularity because of his breakdown videos of the biggest beef of 2024, Kendrick versus Drake. Hey, off topic, but shout out to the villain, bro. I don't even, what is their name? Six Flow? I think their name on Instagram or something like that is Six Flow.
That's kind of tough.
Picture, but this shit goes stupid. Thank you for the artwork. If you guys want to submit artwork, have me just shout you out on here, man. Go ahead and join the Discord, and y'all can post your artwork, you feel me? But this right here go crazy.
It's kind of gas. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Might have to put that on a shirt in the future. What y'all think? Oh, and if you guys could do me a favor and like the video, let's get this to 2,000 likes. We regularly get about a wow, you know what I'm saying, about a stack, but we trying to get 2 bands. Can we get 2 bands? His last few videos has been about each song that Kendrick and Drake released this year. And so far, each of his breakdowns has been a great watch. With most of the things covered or pretty much everything that everyone else throughout social media has already put in perspective and pointed out before his videos ever dropped. Every time I watch his videos, his takes were pretty much familiar and spot on to other creators. I also seen that covered the topic before his, but the way he broke it down and presented it was very refreshing. His latest and very controversial video was his take on Drake's song Family Matters. It was a very long, dragged out, lengthy video, which already seemed a bit odd before clicking for the simple fact that what Drake song could possibly need a 2-hour breakdown. Drake's overall music.
Yo, that's not, I was literally just thinking that. I just like, I'm just here more to sit back because I want to understand what's going on with dude, because I'm seeing a lot of comments and a lot of people talk about him, but I don't know nothing about dude. I've never tuned into his channel. I did see his thumbnails, but I never bothered to click on it because I don't really care for content from him specifically, because I was more concerned about like, yo, and not to make it like racial or anything, but of course, like, if we're going to talk about black culture, we go to black content creators and black reactors, right? It only makes sense. There's other people that I tune into that are not of color, you know, but like mainly it makes sense to tune into someone that's black because we tend to have greater and wilder reactions than the average reactor. So it only makes sense. So for him seeing dude like that, it wasn't something I really was focused on. So, but I see people talk about it. I'm like, okay, let's see what's going on here. So let's go. But yeah, no, 2 hours for a breakdown, dog. That's a book you're breaking down, bro. That Drake don't write books. I'm sorry. Drake writes phonics, bro. He writes friggin' like haikus and shit.
Has always been very surface level compared to Kendrick's very in-depth angle with his overall artistry. Before we get into the issues of this video, I do want to point out that What's the Dirt got extremely lucky for his breakthrough content to begin with. Now, his content is great and well put together. He was going to be a very successful YouTube channel regardless. But the timing of his drops is what changed the trajectory of his sub count. I say this because his video, Drake versus Kendrick Lamar, is his biggest video to date with 8.5 million views, which I'll say is indeed a great video. The way he edits and sets up his scripts, it's a real joy to hip-hop fans to watch. This video in particular came out November 23rd, 2023. Just 8 days after Drake and J. Cole, first-person shooter music video, came out November 15th, 2023. You know, YouTube standard stuff, talk about the trending topics. The whole social media had been covering the subliminal disses and unspoken beef of Kendrick and Drake for some time now. Take Loasta's video that dropped.
Loasta's a really good. Wow, well, that's it?
Example. 9 months prior to What's the Dirt's first drop on the beef. The highly long popularity of Drake and Kendrick's subliminal disses have been something fans all around have been up to par with for the last decade. So for What's the Dirt to start his series after the debut video of First Person Shooter, it only seemed fitting to do so, and not technically hard for anyone to do, because all the material was already out there to collect, and to put together in your own words, in your own theories, with your own opinions. And I think that's exactly what went wrong with What's the Dirt. Prior to his recent drop, all his takes was pretty much already covered, including the newer videos, because everyone was putting content out fast, trying to gain exposure through this popular beef. Shit, even I was, and that's how I got my breakthrough. I feel that What's the Dirt stayed in a safe zone gray area, and people loved his take and content because it was usually what everyone else was already feeling. Or when he would put his own opinions and theories out there, it wasn't too far-fetched than what people were already discussing online. And the theories he would state and suggest seemed to not be so far of a reach. So what went wrong on his last video about Drake's song Family Matters? It seems to me that instead of focusing on everyone else's take and masking it with his own opinions and theories, he would completely do an entire video based on his own perception for the first time, instead of using what was already being said online like he would do in the previous videos. So most of the new video was opinions presented as facts, and that can come off disingenuous. Doing this was very revealing on how out of touch he truly is with the culture, and how stereotypes and in denial racism still very much exists. Now, before I break down some of his controversial takes, I do want to say this isn't about Kendrick versus Drake. This is about a well-meaning white person who's really into hip-hop that tried to join the discussion, but accidentally said some things that was racially insensitive, and also stated far-reach theories with stereotypical logic. This showed he didn't really understand the culture as well as he thought he did, and it also showed the disconnect.
Okay, I see what's going on here. He's gonna it's like innuendos almost that he says, that he says. Oh man, I know where this is going. I know where this is going. Let's go.
Not all, but most white people still have when it comes to Black Americans and our culture, and is why they shouldn't speak so loudly on topics that could be taken out of context. One of the first things that come to mind is something that took me back in disbelief when he called Kendrick a milkman and Uncle Ruckus.
Now,
What?
Dogger in particular is a well-documented milkman who, like Kendrick,
Are you serious?
has a past of
No.
infidelity.
Hold on for a second. Hold on, let me get this right. You call the boy a milkman? Talk about he loves 2% milk? Are you serious? Okay, I see why y'all don't like him already. Cause I'm not a fan already, bro. If this is where we starting, then it goes downhill from here. Cause there's 2 other videos by deleted now. Okay, I'm here. Alright, I'm here. Alright, let's go.
I mean, Kendrick might just be a milkman, right? A closeted milkman.
And after that, it's over. You wake up and you don't even know what you done.
I missed the show. I wish they'd bring it back.
What kind of prejudice shit is that to call someone a derogatory name just because he dates another race? And to call him an Uncle Ruckus, which doesn't make sense at all. And Uncle Ruckus doesn't represent black people who are conscious and dates different ethnicities. Uncle Ruckus represents brown nosers,
Crazy.
tokens who sides with ignorant comments from white propaganda. And what you're doing right now, feeding the tokens and the Uncle Toms. You see, I wouldn't have to break this down to a black person. They know this without having to have the context.
That part.
Watch an episode and we laugh because we know what they're talking about and who they're making fun of with that Uncle Ruckus character. This is what we mean when white people misinterpret a lot of our culture. And why does Dirt think Kendrick is racist? When did Kendrick ever say he wasn't attracted to other ethnicities? So many questions. Just because Kendrick is the voice of the people and is a conscious rapper, a proud black man, doesn't mean he's against other races. Showing black pride.
It's actually so simple when it comes down to describing Kendrick. Kendrick just simply wants black people to do better. That's it. His raps show it. He shows the struggles. He shows the examples. He has the stories. Everything that he does and says is for the betterment of the community. Some negative songs, if you understand the premise and break down the story, it'll be learning points for you, which in the end is an example of taking bad situations, learning from them, and doing better in your life. That's trying to better the people through a thought process of just eliminating what you don't need. You know, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Therapy album. A lot of people don't like Therapy. Well, if you don't like Therapy, you got to understand why Kendrick promoted it in the album. It's helpful. It helps break down you. But at the same time, the whole process of it is dangerous. It's finicky. And the whole album is just a situation where it's a back and forth tug of war between the person. And by coming out on top at the end, that's you completing Therapy and going back into life as such. Now, did I say Kendrick completed Therapy? No. All I'm saying is that he is clearly conflicted. And with GNX, he looked to God for understanding about self. That's that. That's all. That's literally all it is, straight. So to label him as a racist is you didn't use your brain on that one. I ain't gonna hold you. So that's not good.
To people because they always think it's a way of shunning out others when we show self-love, and that isn't the case. We as black people have learned to overcome disadvantages and discrimination by self-loving ourselves loud and proud.
Yeah.
With people like James Brown, the Black Panther Party.
We don't hate nobody because of their color. We hate oppression.
It's deep rooted in our grandparents who were young when that James Brown song came out and when the Black Panthers were thriving. Most of our grandparents that lived then are still alive today. It's instilled into us. Just like the N-word with the hard R. Black people changed the entire meaning to it and successfully changed it by saying nigga instead. And that's one thing that white people seem to not understand. Kendrick never claimed to be against dating outside his race. That's Drake's confusing the people and changing the narrative. One of the villains states, because Drake's angle was to paint Kendrick as a colorist, and it had effect to an extent, and trying to say he is no different because his woman is mixed and his son is lighter like his mom. So let's talk about Whitney real quick. Black comes in all shades. It doesn't matter if you're mixed with black, you're still black. Your ass still checking that African American box on the job application. When you're pulled over, they're telling their buddies they pulled over a black man or woman, no matter how mixed or light skinned you are. If you look anything black with black ancestry and black lineage, you're black. And Whitney being from the hood and inner city and biracial, she's black. Drake's blackness being questioned by us isn't for white people to question at all. Don't get it twisted. I think I need to say that one more time. Drake's blackness being questioned by us is not for white people to question at all. Drake is black, but he wasn't raised black. His dad wasn't in his life. He's seen his dad a few times, but they didn't have an established relationship.
This is my dad, and him and my uncle worked with Al Green. He taught me
Crazy.
everything. So, thank you, Dad. I don't get to see you that often, but, you know, my love is always with you.
Drake himself would often rap and vent about this. He was raised in Canada by a Jewish mother and grandmother and uncle, and went to an all-Jewish school.
First of all, I live in an all-Jewish area, so
Where
I went to
is that?
Forest Hill.
Okay.
I went to a predominantly Jewish school growing up. I definitely had a bar mitzvah in an Italian restaurant.
That's crazy.
My lord.
Yeah.
A nice Italian restaurant?
A very nice
Okay.
Italian restaurant. The song of the night was Backstreet Boys' I Want It That Way.
The persona Drake
That's
pretends
crazy.
to be and how he treats his other black peers as a community is why his blackness is even in question to begin with. The fake accents, the hood hopping, the shady deals, the cease and desist letters, the way he steals styles and ride waves and does shady industry backstabbing shit. It's very parallel to what whites would do to black people back then in the music industry.
Wow.
You also never see any footage of Drake.
I didn't know
praising
that
his
one.
blackness, but you see countless videos of Drake praising his Jew side. He also never has an opinion or voice when black injustice is going on. And to point out lyrics about weave and fat asses,
Kendrick had to frame those lyrics like he had big plans of messing with thick queens with the weave looking on point, but in reality, he was gripping on a blonde ponytail and balls deep
What?
in skinny white ass.
was very stereotypical and distasteful to
This the man y'all like? This the man y'all gave 8.4 million views to? Are you serious?
say the least.
I'm glad I
Saying
never clicked.
Drake is half black and his other side of the family uses it,
Because Drake is half black, the other side of his family uses it.
again, stereotyping. How do you know his other side of the family says this? What makes you so sure? Irregardless whether his dad's side does say it or not, even if you had the proof of them saying it, Drake didn't even used to say the word correctly.
Was somebody that I was like, I used to see out and be like, yo, that's that nigger, you know what I'm saying? He's doing his thing. Oh, that's that nigger. Oh, that's that nigger. Oh, that's that nigger.
Which completely goes against Dirt's stereotype. Any black person knows by this clip alone that Drake is more white than black from his lack of awareness. When it came to the word with the hard R, this clip alone screams loud and clear that Drake truly wasn't raised around black people. And I seen a clip of What's the Dirt react to another YouTuber that goes by the name of The Company Man, where this YouTuber does a my take on Dirt's latest video, and Dirt watches and says this.
My family growing up didn't use the N-word. I made a whole video on my channel. I didn't say the N-word for 20 years.
Bro, I could kind of tell.
What?
When he says he looks like he doesn't say nigga, which is
Yo, we let people like this run the internet, bro? Bro, keep that shit on kick, bro. Stay on kick because you're useless. Like, you're actually a friggin' bum. Like, what's wrong with this man? Like, no, let's keep it a full stack right now. Like, what's actually wrong with this man? You see, this is why I knew it. And I don't need to add a description or anything as to why, but I just saw the video and I said, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to put time into that. Family Matters video or not, I don't care for that. I'm going to watch my dudes right here. You know? But seriously, bro? You don't realize we can see you. Like, are you serious?
it's just, man, I would for real like to throw hands after that. This
I ain't
dude
gonna
is
lie,
pounding
I
on
throw
faces.
hands,
This is
feet,
why
bricks.
We need to stop letting people like Dirt be tourists of the culture. They get very comfortable. It gets to their heads and overstay their welcome and start saying offensive shit. When he says that he doesn't assume all black families use the N-word, but completely contradicts himself when saying he could tell that the company doesn't say it.
He said this is a great example of me being lost. Because he assumed that I assumed that all black families use the N-word. And he's trying to peg that on me and put that on me. That is bullshit.
I
Motherfucker, are you
didn't say
serious?
the N-word for 20 years.
Bro, I could kind of tell.
Are you serious?
Hey, Dirt, that's not for a white person to determine. He goes into saying that Drake is 37 years old.
Yo, this man
And
is not
because of
real,
this,
because
Drake
there's no
says
way
the
you're moving like
N-word
this.
37 times, which represents every year that he's black.
And what's also really clever here is that Drake is 37 years old, and he says the N-word 37 times on this track. And I believe his reasons for doing this is he's basically saying the word for every year that he's been alive
I know
to
you
symbolize that he was indeed born black. Boy, if you don't get
This was
Are
one
you
of the
serious?
craziest takes I've ever heard. And I don't mind reaching at all. I reach. If you notice, I wanted to stay on the true issue of the video, which is why I'm not including his other far takes, because even though it pissed people off and didn't make sense, and he favored Drake in many ways that were clearly biased and not factual, it's still his outlook and his opinion. If he wants to far stretch and pull shit out of his ass, that's on him, and he has the right to do so, but not about black culture. That's where I draw the line, and why I'm responding in this video. For one, black people don't pay attention to how many times someone says nigga, unless it's a person who shouldn't be saying it. And that's not including Drake. See, we make fun of Drake, like a SIG or a roast session back in high school. We take jabs at how he's a bit
I ain't gonna hold you. We really did make fun of dude. The girls liked him. But back then, we weren't really paying attention to the girls because they didn't look how they look today. You know, sorry, not sorry, but it's true. You know, man thoughts. But the reason why a lot of dudes like Drake is because girls listens to Drake. A lot of women listen to Drake. They love Drake. You know, all his slow tracks, the R&B tracks, you know, the dancehall tracks, all them ting them. Like, that's what we like Drake for. We don't necessarily like Drake for his rapping capabilities. Because compare his... Like, for example, compare Drake's rapping capabilities to DNA's rap capabilities, bro. It's incomparable, bro. Drake is not even on the board. Meanwhile, DNA's at the top of the board. You know? But, like, we absolutely did make fun of dude. Especially the ones that look like him. Talk about, oh, you should have been in a wheelchair in Degrassi. Dude walked down the hallway. Yo, where your wheelchair at, boy? You know what I'm saying? Like, we did make fun of dude, no doubt. It's just that when we saw more women like his music, then we're like, okay. I mean, we can mess with this if the girls like it. So, you know, that's how it be.
But we would never feel completely away about him saying nigga. We wouldn't count how many times Drake says nigga. Like, what the fuck?
We ain't count. Yeah, why did he count
hear
that?
the word once from a different race, then that's another story. For two, you're trying to break down Drake's bars as if they're Kendrick's. Drake has never made music with hidden clues or that in depth. Again, very surface level bars. And that's not to discredit Drake. Drake has made great music in the past. Let's not take away from his artistry.
No, absolutely.
However, you're literally looking way too deep than Drake ever would intend to go. And what made you even count the word nigga in the first place, bro? What is wrong with you? It's not shocking though, because it's clearly a white take. It's bland as hell and unseasoned as fuck. And then there's the colorism. Miseducated statements about Adonis being light-skinned and Kendrick's son being lighter than Kendrick. Saying Kendrick might be embarrassed to be seen with his son because he's lighter than Kendrick.
Are you serious?
That's just a white prejudice thing you could say.
Although Kendrick's child isn't anywhere near to as light as Drake's, Drake leverages this to subtly accuse Kendrick of hypocrisy. This is Kendrick's reality, right? He does have mixed children, and he does seem to prefer lighter complected women. Kendrick really wants to be with white chicks, right? That's truly what he wants. But because he's Kendrick Lamar, he has to hide it. He's embarrassed to be seen.
Black people come in all shades. There's albino, brown, light brown, dark.
It's the funniest thing, though, when you sit there and analyze it. The whitest person in the world is albino, which is African. And the blackest person in the world is just African. Like, it's actually crazy when you sit and really look at it. Let's keep going. Y'all understand. Let's keep going, bro.
Brown, we are literally all the shades of the world. Drake is self-projecting because for the longest, he didn't want people to see his child because he didn't think it was his. And it was speculated that he wasn't certain it was his child because of how white Adonis appeared. Now, that's just speculation. but it's not so far of a reach.
God
when Drake
damn,
battles
there's
with
no
being
way.
accepted in the black community. So
There's
at this
no
point,
way.
this is just preference versus programming. I mean, there was a lot of takes that was misinformed and misinterpreted. Saying Kendrick is doing songs with white artists as if he isn't supposed to or is not supposed to, that's a weird take. And siding with Drake about YG and CB being actual blood members.
Drake then makes a reference to Chris Brown, and many might think this is a gimmick, but Chris really is a full-on Fruittown Pyru, because Chris Brown is an R&B singer from Virginia, but unlike Kendrick, a Compton native who was only an affiliate, Chris is a full-on gang member.
Are you dead ass?
At that, which, by the way, caused Drake issues from that statement alone. To know gang politics and the gang banging culture, you know you can't name drop people. For one, that's dry snitching. And for two, other rival gangs will check your ass. Some rival gangs will take that as disrespect. Like, oh, is that who you roll with? You claiming a side? What's up? And also, Kendrick being from Compton, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that he has acquaintances with people that bang. And that line that Drake said could come off disrespectful to them. Like, oh, you think we won't do anything about it? Like, oh, you questioning us. You think we won't do anything about it. You think he don't have real hitters around here. I mean, that whole Ken and Friends was a statement. Flamed up, all red. People didn't look familiar to me nor you, but believe me, they did to the LA streets with well-known gang members on stage showing their allegiance to Kendrick. That was a threat and a warning to Drake. Why do you think he sold all his houses? Why do you think he moved to Houston next to mob ties? And then there's this video that What's the Dirt would edit to lean more on Drake's favor and lies.
Indeed responsible for this incident.
Because like half of her face was like blown out pretty much. She was with a certain rapper who had assaulted her. His first name was Kendrick. Kendrick Lamar? Yeah. There was cops there, and we didn't find out it was Kendrick until later.
And it's at this point where the Who Kid drop from Drake from push-ups starts to get a little more interesting.
This Twitter user calls him out. You spent months on this, and you edited the security interview for Drake's narrative. You said the dates lined up with the security guard, which it doesn't. The guy next to her said it was a UFC fight night, not boxing. She agreed. UFC 173 happened that weekend in Vegas. So if you're sticking with her story, you should stay on that weekend. Hashtag culture vulture. And then there's this clip about his fellow YouTuber, the company man, having no motion.
But I'm not putting it up on YouTube because I'd only be doing them a favor. Like, a lot of these guys don't have a lot of motion. That's like, they just don't, right? So I would be helpful.
Who are you to judge that?
He has motion today, if anything. Just like you use Drake and Kendrick's moment to shine like any other YouTuber will do, including myself, because it's a viral topic. I mean, what are you actually trying to say here? You know how YouTube works. You're trending, so everyone is going to either react and give you your flowers, or they're going to react and tell you what you probably don't want to hear. Irregardless, what does motion have to do with this?
That's what I'm saying.
He does have motion, because he's actually doing numbers right now. He's getting the views. Like, it's so funny and awkward as hell when the uncultured white people don't even understand the phrases they're using when they use it. It's just, it's hilarious. I mean, from the offensive tweets that he kept tweeting, the dude is like Carlton from Fresh Prince, and you're trying to frame this as me being racist.
Are you dead ass? You
because you're looking at a man who speaks with some sense and higher education, you want to compare him to Carlton. And if that's not racist, I don't know what
bro,
is.
that's full. Nah, the bunda racism part. Like, you're so backwards in your head. Everything that you learned at face value, you think that's what that is. Just because he moves and sounds like Carlton doesn't mean he's white. It just means he's intelligent. It just means he has knowledge. It just means that he sees life and understands what's going on in the black community, and he doesn't want to move like that. That's it. So who are you to judge him for what he is? That is absolutely disrespectful.
I swear, baby. I only fucked those white chicks because I'm racist. I did it from my ancestors. It was all for the culture. Don't you understand? I did this for us. Laugh out loud. Like, come on, man. I talk about this in the breakdown because it really supports Drake's Black Messiah line.
Seriously?
What? That's what you got from Drake's Black Messiah line.
There's no
and that's
way.
why we question Drake's blackness. I'm just gonna put that out there because if you guys are both thinking that way, I mean, a statement like that for a white dude to go on YouTube and be basically the culture vulture of YouTube hip hop, it's beyond me. Because you're showing your whole ass right now, dude.
That's a
Like,
fact.
you really are. I don't care how talented you are, how you put words together and brainstorm and put all these cool, fancy edits in your videos. You showing your whole ass right now. You're looking like a culture vulture. You're looking like a colonizer, bro. I'll be honest with you with that. I just don't get it. Like, we could keep going. If you go to his tweets, he has a shit ton stupid remarks like I just read. Very, very insensitive. I mean, it's leaning on the prejudice versus racist side of him, and it shows how he really is just not like us. And that's so corny to say, but it's the truth. It really is the truth.
I just find it super duper embarrassing for him to move like this because there's no way he can just sit there and act like this. Like, are you good? Are you good in the head? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why you want to sit there and choose to move like this? Like, I just don't understand. I don't know. It is what it is. This is clearly part 1 of 3. I want to make sure I get all these parts out actually, but I don't want to give my thoughts until like the second or third video when I get more information on him, because it just seems like he's just like a racist fuck. That's it. You're just a racist fuck, and like you're trying to cover it up, you know, by defending yourself in certain kind of ways. But like the way you defend yourself, it just makes it worse for you. So, you know, I'm not a fan. You know, I didn't know about you, but I'm not a fan, and let's find out what's coming next in the next episode. You know what I'm saying? Because this is just absolutely egregious. I don't understand the reasons as to why you want to move like this. That you think this is cool. Who's your audience is my question. You know, think about it from a marketing standpoint, but because you're clearly trying to gain a certain audience, because it's not the black audience. You know, you're trying to gain audiences that think just like you, and when you look at the data and the numbers, that outweighs the people with actual intelligence online. So it kind of makes sense that you want to go for a certain audience that just has no brain cells. It's only fair. You're spreading lies. You're talking on nothing but bullshit. And you think you're that guy talking about dude has no emotion, even though you don't even know dude to even say that he has no emotion. Like, don't disrespect him. If there's one thing I cannot tolerate online is the disrespect for literally no reason. It's one thing when we do it because we actually do it for like jokes and like laughter. You're being serious, and we can tell you're being serious too. No, you don't have the audacity, bruh. The audacity is actually egregious. And I'm not even joking. Yo, I could literally block his page right now. I do not care, because this guy's actually moving like a bum. But with that being said, this is Single Seater Reactions. It's part 1 of 3. You know, I'm going to check out the other 2 right now. So make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Drop comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's information out there about dude that I don't know about that you might want to share with me in the comments. And let's ride out to this. So with that being said, take care, be well, be safe, stay true, be you, live long, and long live. Peace. Boy, there's a lot of editing I got to do before I get to work, bro. Let's go.